and his wife, they lived on a ship for almost 8 years. Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bologi Stephen. Welcome to my channel, Bologi Stephen. So I'm super excited. I always say I'm super excited, but honestly, there's no other way to say it. I actually like talking to you guys. I actually love to share what's on my heart with you guys. So yeah, I'm super excited to have you on this episode. And today I want to gist you guys about my latest obsession. So weird. But yeah, I just thought about it today, like, yeah, this is something worth talking about, right? Before I tell you guys this obsession that I now have, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. What that does is that it helps other people discover the video and the channel and helps to share the word. All right, so my latest obsession. My latest obsession is multi-generations. I know that's weird, right? Doesn't sound like something you hear like, hey, what's your obsession? Multi-generations. Like, hold up, calm down. What do you mean? But I think I have always kind of liked it, but I just realized and became conscious about this thing that I look out for this year. And I think I actually started to also intentionally seek it out this year. And when I say multi generations, that means that currently I like to talk to old people. Simple as short. Honestly, simple and short. Like, there's no fancy way. I actually have started to just really love talking to old people. I'm fascinated. I want to. Something funny happened a few weeks ago. I was at my friend's church and they were doing like this birthday celebration. And there was this older man who was sitting across of me. We're eating cake, and he was just like pleasant, right? And there were these little girls beside him, and I was like, oh, they were calling him Pops or something, or Pops or Papa or something. So I was like, are these your grandchildren? He said yes. And then I just started asking him questions like, oh, so how long have you been here? Why did you move back? I just started asking him, and he was just telling me, all of the stories, sharing with me how he used to be a construction worker, how, when things got hard and there was no job, he was just like really telling me, well, a part of his story. And my friend she was across of the hall, and I just saw her. She kept looking. When you bring somebody to your church or to your space, you want to make sure they're okay. So she kept looking. I don't think she was sure. I don't think she knew that I was the one engaging. So she just kept looking like, do I need to, come save you? We understand what I'm talking about. And so when we're leaving, I was like, thank you for, sharing. And he was just like, yeah, he was happy to share. And yeah, I just realized that that's one thing I now look out for, looking out for a church where to worship. And one thing that was very important to me, I didn't want a church that only had young people. That's it. That's honestly right now where I am, that's actually important to me. If I have to find a church, I don't want a church with just millennials. I don't want a church with just Gen Z. I don't even want a church with just Gen X. If you don't know the brackets, maybe you find out. I know most people know Gen Z, but like, so millennials, I'm a millennial. Then the next after me, late like 40s into 50s is Gen X. I'm talking, I want baby boomers, like the 60s, the 70s. I want to hear their stories. That's part of what I now look out for in a church. Now, not to say if you're in a church with just millennials, there's anything wrong with that. No, absolutely not. That's just where I am. And I find that the more I listen to their stories, the more my mind opens. Maybe it's also the storyteller in me, actually. Come to think about this, I didn't link it up earlier. But maybe it's also the storyteller in me. Maybe it's the screenwriter in me. I'm fascinated by their stories. I want to hear what happened. And I think it also has bearing in the Bible where, God will tell the Israelites to tell your children the story, tell your children the story. We say older women teach the younger women. In First John, John was like, I'm talking to you fathers because you have known God. There is something that the older generation has, and I think it breaks my heart when I see potential, because there's a place for each generation. And this is not the video to get into it, because I'm actually very passionate about this. And I think that we are not able to reap the benefits because instead of getting the advantage of multi generations, we are fighting ourselves. And it's just stupid, for lack of a better word, to be honest. I come from back home in Nigeria. My church was very, very multi generational, is very, very multi generational. And I feel like we're not harnessing what we have. Because in one congregation, you have the innocence of the children, the pure, undiluted innocence of the children that you can learn from. You have the strength of the youth. You have the wisdom of the old. Instead, and what the devil tries to do, because of the potential there, if we come together, there is no stopping us. But instead, if the older generation is now fighting the younger generation, you people, your own is too much, why are you people doing like this, why are you people da 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 da, then the younger generation too is fighting the older generation, like, please excuse me, you guys are not cool, you're not happening. Then there's no strength in our number, there's no strength in our diversity. I'm totally deviating from what I kind of thought I would talk about, but it's okay because it's still the same thing. I watched this movie, Jesus Revolution, and it was talking about, the current baby boomers, that's about 60s, 70s, when they were teenagers and young adults. There was a movement that happened in the US where they were hippies, wearing long hair, getting high, on the beach, just kumaya, my lord, not bothered about life. And in the movie, which was like retelling what actually happened, you could find their own parents castigating them and saying, you guys are just not serious, you guys are da 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 da, why? And when I was watching that movie, it was just like, oh my god, history is replaying itself. Because unfortunately, these same baby boomers that are now in their 60s are telling the Gen Zs the same thing. They have forgotten what it felt like when they were the hippies, when they were the youth. And if only one baby boomer can sit down and just flash back and remember this was how it felt, then you can connect with that Gen Z that you feel like is not hearing word. And for us, the younger ones, I feel like there is so much to learn from the older ones. I have this new mama. Oh my goodness. I have this new mama, my new Spanish mommy. And I just like to talk to her. Like, I'm just looking for opportunities to hang out with her. And I think one thing that I've seen about the culture is because of the simply, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like African culture and the culture of respect, but I feel like sometimes there is the extreme that we go to that doesn't allow the pureness and the relationship between the young and the old in a way that we can learn. I don't know if you understand what I mean. But anyway, so I sit with Mama Mita and she has two sons that are older, like, well, they're late 30s, I think. And I'm just sitting with her and I'm seeing the way she's relating with her boys, and I just want to hear her stories, her missionary journeys, and I asked her about, like, you brought up boys, just give me tips, because I want to hear any parents that has, you have kids older than me, I'm asking you questions. And she's saying so many things as simple as when her children started drawing on the walls, you know, and she and her husband just decided, see, I'm giving you wisdom for free. Do you know what they did? They just got wallpapers. They just got newspapers. Of course, at the time, wallpaper was not a thing. They just got newspapers and plastered it round the house. Round the house where, the children could reach. So the children they are happy. It's a win-win situation. Your walls are not dirty. Your children are expressing themselves, and everybody's happy. And even their neighbors' children like to come to their house because they could write on the wall there. And I'm like, So now I'm already ahead with my children. Like, okay, I'm ready for you when you're about to start writing on the wall. That sounds like a simple or a light-hearted illustration. But the truth is, there is just a lot to learn from older people. There's a lot to learn about what to do, and sometimes you learn what not to do. Sometimes the older people are not good examples, but you still listen to their stories. Sometimes it's even regret you can hear the regret from their voice, and you know, that's something not to do. And I think that another thing that we give them, number one, we give them youth. We give them there's a feeling of life that comes back to an older person when they can talk to a younger person and just feel like they're impacting the younger person. And you also give them a feeling of relevance. And when you leave there, you make them feel like they have done something fulfilling. They feel relevant again. They feel happy. They feel fulfilled, for lack of a better word. And I feel like that's a gift that we can give older people that we don't realize that we can. So yeah, I just wanted to share this new obsession that I have, which is just funny, but I'm happy that I have this obsession. And I look forward to exploring this, obsession, and just talking to more older people. I mean, I talk a lot about marriage on this channel. So part of what we did, my husband and I, was to get older couples to ask them about their own journey, and we have it here. The playlist Built to Last, married from 12 all the way to over 50, and the link is here. So make sure, if you haven't watched it, please, that's a good place to binge. And just the same way we did that for marriages, you can do that for yourself as an individual. There's this fellowship that for international students that I attend here, and one reason why I love that fellowship is the fact that it's for international students. But if you go there, you won't even know. Like, if you just stumbled into the meeting, you won't really know. Because yes, there are students, and the students drive everything. But you see a lot of older people that just came into the fellowship and have been there for 5 years. You hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, somebody just invited me and I've been here for 8 years." They are not students, they just want to pour into younger lives. They just have a heart for younger people. They just want to be around. Sometimes it's just, you know, the feeling of when they're with younger people, they feel alive. And you too, you just get to hear stories. This one day I was sitting beside this man on the table where he was telling us how he and his wife, they lived on a ship for almost 8 years, doing like health work, like not like charity, but like charity health work, really. And so they homeschooled their children in that ship for 8 years. Now, of course, we're at a meeting, so we didn't have the time to delve into it. But I have all the questions, like, how did you deal with your children, not being antisocial? How did you deal with reintegrating into the world? Were you just on the ship for, like, these things will teach us. These things, even if they don't teach you something to do, at the very least, they will open your mind. And so I'd just like to close this video by asking, and your own, you might not necessarily just decide to go around looking for old people to talk to. But I think the challenge I will leave with us, or the encouragement I will leave with us, is go outside your box. Don't be so comfortable in your little circle. It just makes you a myopic thinker. Speak to people that are different from you. If you're young, speak to the old. If you're old, speak to the young. If you have somebody from a different tribe, a different nationality, a different profession, a different, even religion, engage. But when it comes to religion, I just want to put this caveat here. Especially as a Christian, you need to be grounded in your beliefs and your faith. So don't go and step out saying you want to go and engage just anybody when you don't even know what you believe. My sister, my brother, that's not wisdom, okay? So I just wanted to put that there. But yeah, I mean, just grow your mind. Have conversations that grow your mind. have conversations. Don't be afraid of the differences of people. The world is sending out the narrative that different is bad. Male and female, one must be superior, one must be inferior, young and old, we must pitch ourselves against each other. It must be old versus young. Why can't it be old and young working together? Imagine a country being run where the old people provide the wisdom and the guidance, and the young people provide the strength and the innovation and the ideas and the energy. And these two people work together. Because of the old, they will not make as many mistakes, because you say, yes, that's what happened in 1984. And then because of the young, when they have ideas, they're able to implement and they're able to make new things. So yeah, I just wanted to share this new obsession that I have with you. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about it. Do you think it's crazy? Do you have a current new obsession? And yeah, what do you think this video has made you decide to try, if anything? I'd like to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video, share with somebody, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Thanks for stopping by. I love you guys so much, and I always love to chat with you guys. Have a good time. Bye.